Wait upon the Lord, they shall fly like eagles, they shall run, and not be weary. Hallelujah. They shall wait upon the Lord, they shall fly like eagles, they shall run, and not be weary.
Okay, we welcome everyone to tonight's talk show with our honorable guest, Mr. Noble C. Joshua. We welcome you. It's great to have everyone watch us live. If you're coming, you're highly welcome. You're highly welcome. We'll be beginning the talk show now. And before we start, let's just wait a little to get more people join us. I'm excited to be here, and I know that you are also excited. We assure you that this talk show is going to be the best. It's going to be so impactful. It's going to be so, in fact, you'll be blessed because you are with us here. So in the comment section, introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us your diocese, your district, and your parish, and what you expect from this talk show. What do you expect from this talk show? Welcome, Mr. Noble. You are welcome. I don't know. I think I can't hear anything. I don't know if it's from my end or from your end. Okay. Yeah, please go on, Mr. Noble. You're welcome. So today's talk show is going to be on the theme, on the topic. So our topic today is business branding, the key to exceeding profitability. And we have Honorable Noble C. Joshua with us. Olebube, you are welcome. Olebube Bonaventure from Mina Diocese. Welcome, Olebube. It's great to have you here. So, who do we have here, Mr. Noble? I want to briefly read out his biography. Yeah, he has so much, but I'm just going to give out a little because of our time. So Noble C. Joshua is a social change and leadership strategist. He is a relational intelligence expert, an effective leadership speaker, trainer, and global entrepreneur. Noble C. Joshua is driven with the commitment to harnessing both individual and corporate entities' seasoned growth and development for impact, income, and influence. He founded the Bloom Bay Cafe Global. It's on Facebook. If you search on Facebook, you will find it and you will see the beautiful things that he is doing. He's also the leader or the director of the She Thrives Fellowship Global, which is a socio-economic impact-driven community for emerging young adult women and girls in Africa. I love that. I love the fact that you are focused even on females because, yes, females are powerful. We are great. So enough of that. We want to delve into what we have for today, and which is the talk show on the topic. Again, I'm stressing the topic, business branding, the key to exceeding profitability. I welcome my co-anchors to the stage. I welcome Joy Oledika, Mr. Paul Chibike, and the other team, Pastor Innocent Ohiri, Dr. Promise Okeke, Barrister Mike Oyaga, and the very rest of you. It's great to be doing this with everyone. So, Mr. Noble Joshua, before we commence, because I have a lot I want to discuss with you, I'm going to ask you so many questions in such a little time. But before we commence, I would like to just hear one thing from you. Just say something brief about what you have, what you know about branding, just before we go into this topic.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity given me to be on this platform. It's a privilege to be invited to share a platform with the Watchman Young Adult
I think I can't see it. I don't know if it's
Symposium.
from my end.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, go on.
Okay, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are. You are.
Oh, okay, all right. So, first and foremost, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share a platform with the Watchman Young Adult Forum. I count it a thing of honor. I don't please with levity. My name is Noble C. Joshua, and the anchor in person of Phoebe Christian, she said we should introduce ourselves. What diocese are we from, and what parish are we from? I am from the prestigious Jos Diocese, and I am from Nasara Parish. Those who are familiar with Jos Nigeria can tell a little bit about Nasara Parish in Jos Diocese. Okay, now moving on to tonight, business branding, the key to exceeding profitability. I believe business branding is one aspect of gaining maximum sales that we have not yet leveraged on, especially the market in Africa. The market in Africa is still struggling to adapt to the new media, or otherwise known as the social media. Now, bringing in business branding when we are still yet to adapt to the unpredictable curves of new media, which is social media. I believe this topic is coming in handy because business branding is not just for the big companies. The big companies, we think business branding is for the big company, but hey, today or rather tonight, those misconceptions we've had about branding, I'm trusting God that we would throw some of those misconceptions out because business branding is for everyone. Whether you have a big business, whether you just have an idea, the key is if you want to truly scale through in this unpredictable market. And don't forget, Africa, Nigeria to be specific, our market over here is so, I don't want to use the word difficult, I want to be positive, but the market in Africa is turbulent. If you want to survive, you need to come out from those existing systems, existing mindset, existing understanding, existing knowledge you've had about business. You need to throw them away because there is no place for emotions in this thing called business branding. If you want to hit the global scale, believe me, you have to do away with your emotions and every misconceptions you've had about branding. You have to do away with it because the world will not pay to listen to your emotions and excuses. Oh, I'm from Nigeria. The government is difficult. Nobody wants to know if you're from Venezuela. I'm sorry for calling that country. Nobody wants to know if you are close to hell. People want to see results. So tonight, I trust that God is going to do us well, and we're going to learn a lot about branding. Thank you so much for this opportunity, man. I'm grateful.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so Mr. Noble, I would like to ask you, now that you've talked about the misconceptions of branding, can you say some of the misconceptions that people have had about branding?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity to share a couple of things as regards to misconceptions we've had. Now, I want to be particular about my region, which is Africa. Africa. Africa, for a couple of decades, it's been seen as a third continent, or rather, Africa has been seen as one of the continent with uh, a larger percentage of third world countries. That is because of the mindset that we approach things with. And one of those mindsets is affecting our businesses. Our businesses have been affected. Now, some of the misconception I will say when it comes to branding that most persons, myself, and probably one or two persons here have held, is that branding has to do with logo. Well, that is not wrong, but honestly speaking, if you want your business to compete with the likes of Apple, your business to compete with the likes of Microsoft, compete with the likes of Tesla, believe me, you have to go beyond logo. A lot of times we believe that okay, branding is logo. I want to brand my business, and the only concept in your mind is I need a new logo. Please, honestly speaking, if you want to feature, if you want your business to feature in the New York Stock Exchange, I think a couple of months ago, couple of years ago, Jumia featured in NSE, which is the largest stock exchange in the world, aside that of the UK and that of China. How did Jumia get to at the New York Stock Exchange? I believe it is not just because of logo. If it comes to logo, Jumia doesn't have that logo per se, but we have other businesses who have the best logos in the world, but they are nowhere near the New York Stock Exchange. So the number one misconception that we need to deal with when it comes to business branding is that branding is logo. Please, branding is part of logo is actually part of branding, but logo is not all there is to branding. Logo is not all there is to branding. Another thing again we need to deal with is the fact that so many persons think branding is for the big companies. No, I'm just starting. No, please don't disturb me with this thing called branding. Come on, my business is just 1 year, my business is just 1 month, and you're telling me about branding. Who needs branding now? Please, branding is not just for the big companies. Except your mindset is short-sighted. I'm sorry if that word is a bit difficult, but I'm sincerely sorry. And I want to say something. A lot of businesses in Nigeria are just short-sighted. Okay, I think it was a month ago, I was following Time Magazine. Time Magazine turned 100 years. If I believe we have a couple of good social media users here, you can research. I think last month or last 2 months, Time Magazine became 100 years. I asked the question and said, how many, this was the question I was asking myself, how many businesses in Africa can we see have hit 70 years in operation? The answer is honestly on a scale of 1 to 10 is just minus, or let's be honest, 1.2% of businesses in Africa can be said to have gotten to at least 50 years. The truth is, Nigerian businesses and African businesses, our mindset is just for the immediate. We just want to make profit. We just want to make money. We're not thinking transgenerational. The moment you begin to think transgenerational, you will understand that branding is not just logo. You will understand that very thing. And you understand that branding is not just about the big companies, except you don't want to go transgenerational. The truth is, I'm not here to curse any person. I'm not here to scare any person. But come on, none of us here are going to live up to the next 150 years. That's the whole truth. Every person here currently following this talk show, at least if you're going to live forever, it is 120 years or 127 years or 97, 90 something or 70 years. But have you sat down and asked yourself, what happens in the case where I die? Please don't say God forbid yet. What happens in the scenario when you die, or let's say something good happens to you, because in Nigeria we're scared of these negative things. Let's say something good happens to you, or you do God settles you with a wealthy man who takes you to UAE, to Dubai. What happens when you leave your business? Let me ask you a question. Is that business going to survive the next 5 years? If you're not sure, then it means you're not doing so much when it comes to branding. So branding is not logo. Please, branding is part of it, but it's not all about logo. Secondly, branding is not for the big businesses. Branding is not just for the Dangotes. Branding is not just for the MTNs. Branding is for your own startup. If you want your startup to hit transgenerational influence, impact, and income, please, you need to do away with the misconception that branding are for NTA, branding is for channels, branding is for UBA. Please, no. Branding is also for startup. And another thing again we need to deal with is the fact that we think branding is expensive. Now, it depends where you're coming from. If you feel that branding is expensive, no problem. Someone said something. Someone said, if you believe education is expensive, try ignorance. So if you believe branding is expensive, just stay like that. Honestly speaking, I saw a couple of things that challenged me. Okay, I am residential in just Nigeria. And there are a couple of businesses I have been intending to do in this state called just Nigeria. And I felt I was the only one with the idea. One of the days I was on Twitter, today is Friday. I was on Twitter on Wednesday, and I was shocked to see people doing my idea. I was shocked to see people not just doing my idea, they were doing it internationally. And I came to the conclusion that look, no price is too expensive for you to pay to get a brand. Okay, let's okay, I believe subsequently we're going to talk about what branding is, but for now we're dealing with the misconception. Branding may be expensive depending on how you see it. If you want your business to go transgenerational, please, let's do away with the God forbid. Let's deal with the real issues. Sometimes you're going to have a call from village, you're going to have a call from mom, you're going to have a call from dad. You may have a call from glory, you may be called to glory. What happens to your business? Will your business fizzle out in just a matter of 3 months? Will your business fizzle out in just a matter of 6 months? Or will your business at least stand the test of time? Harvard University is 100 and 100 100 and 100 and Harvard University is 100 and
I know
now
that you are
Harvard.
so loaded.
Okay,
If we
sorry,
continue
sorry.
to dwell on this one topic, we may not address anything else. But indeed, you've just said what it is. You've said, some people believe or think that branding is all about logo. Logo is just, in fact, the one of the basics of branding. There's so
Yes,
much
ma'am.
when it comes to branding. There are so many things involved with branding. When you talk of your voice, the voice or the tone of your business is part of your brand. What do people know about your business? When you make ads, when you maybe make content on Facebook or other platforms, there's a tone that you use. There's a tone the tone could be serious, the tone could be friendly, the tone could be more of educational or informative.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
kind of tone that you use or pattern you use in communicating in your content is part of your branding.
yeah.
But some people haven't understood it, so that is why you see some people who are doing business online. You just read their post, maybe one line or two lines, and before you're able to make
Mm,
sense of what they
mm,
are writing about, you're finished reading it.
yeah,
So it can't communicate enough to you. You've said so many things. In fact, when you talk of branding, we also talk about the values. That's why like you said, it's way, way beyond logo. Your business should have value systems that people know you with. When they talk about this business, let's say it's importation business, when they hear it and they know it's aligned to you, they just know maybe your value could be quick deliveries, quick delivery
mm,
of products or whatever. Excellence, because that is I always love to mention excellence. That is my one of my values. Excellent delivery, integrity. So if you're a business owner, you need to build a value system. Build a value system. It's part of the branding. So much on that. We'll go into the second question I want to ask you, Noble. Now we've said the things that branding is not. It's not about having a logo. It's not about just having a name. It's not. It's way beyond that. In 1 minute, can you just define in 1 minute what branding is in depth, not the surface thing we see. In depth, what branding actually is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I will make sure I am conscious of time in 1 minute. Okay, in 1 minute, what is branding? I don't want to use the word in a layman's word. Nobody here is lay, and God never made any person lay. It's just the amount of knowledge that you have that distinguishes if you're lay or not. Now, what is branding in one word? Branding is the perception your business is selling out to the world in one word. The perception, the identity. Branding is the identity you are selling out to the world about either a business or a service or a product. So, in one word, branding is all about the perception you are giving out to people about what you do, about the services you render, about the goods you sell. So, the key word there is perception and identity. So, brand is an identity you're selling out and a perception you are giving about people towards your product or a service that you render, man. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Branding is the perception. It's the perception. So I don't want to dwell so much on this. I have quite a number of questions I want to ask you because I know that you are knowledgeable in this area and you have so much to give us. So I would like to ask you another question, Mr. Noble. Now, we've talked on what it is, what branding is not, and what it is. Now, someone here may be asking, so how can I create an effective brand? How can I create an effective brand identity? So, can you talk about that? How can someone who runs a business or is about to start a business create an effective brand identity? Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that question. Okay, I happen to be a smartphone marketer. I work with Oppo Marketing, Oppo Telecommunications. We know Oppo phones. Oppo phones are global phones.
Yeah.
They are the official sponsors of Champions League. And I'm sorry if this is a cheap advert to them, but I currently work with them. And honestly, I am learning a lot from my work with Oppo. A lot, a lot, a lot. Now you ask the question, someone who is here, how do they go about branding? Please, one of the first things you must put into place before you talk about branding is to ask yourself this question: what do I want? Because you cannot give out something that you don't even know exists in you. So before you talk about branding, let me go brand. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with this business? Because if you're not clear, if clarity is not gotten, if clarity is not gotten, it will be difficult for you to have a brand identity. So number one, clarity. What do I want to achieve with this business? It's key. Don't just go out there and begin to design logos. Don't just go out there and begin to create pages on Facebook, on Instagram. These things are good. But please, the question you need to ask yourself is, what do I want? This business of mine. What do I want to achieve with this business of mine? What services do I want to render to the public? That is one. Then the next question you ask yourself is, what value do I want to create? Because if you're just interested in the profit, the truth is you will make the profit. But when it comes to trust, people may not trust you. Trust is beyond how much you make. Trust has to do with durability. You are still durable in the market, regardless the turbulence in the market, regardless the inflation, the unpredictable curves in the economic world. You are still there. So number one, please sit down and ask yourself, what do I want? This is my business. What do I want this business to achieve? Number two, be clear. You need to be clear as regards to this is the value I want to create. Please, value and profit are two different things. I want to make so and so. That is profit. But value, you are going into what we call you are winning the trust of the people. And this is something I'm learning from my company, Oppo. They are going beyond just making producing smartphones. Oppo's policy is to say that extraordinary users will enjoy the beauty of technology. This is something we were told during our training days. And it is something gradually I am beginning to see the company upholding. We want to allow extraordinary users enjoy the beauty of technology. Oppo has been able to define the value they want to give out. So, first ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with this business? Is this business just all about providing food? You said something which I love. We have a lot of food vendors online these days. But what to distinguish your business from others? You said something about fast delivery. Fast delivery, that is an identity today. I know of certain persons who cook superb food in the market, but when it comes to delivery, they can take 1 hour. In fact, there was so much delay that hunger will just leave you. Hunger will run away. That when they bring the food, you're no longer hungry. But they cook well. But they are selling what I call a bad perception about the business. So number one, please, you need to understand what your business wants to achieve. Number two, clear. Be clear on the value you want to create. What value do you want to leave? What value do you want to push out there in the market about your business? It is key. Be clear about what you want to achieve. Then, number two, sit down and be clear about the value you want to give out there. What value do you want to provide? Is it just, don't just stop at providing food to people. Okay, when I give people food, I want to be different in the areas of I want to receive feedback from them. Don't just give food, don't just sell food and you just collect your money, collect your plate, and you go. No, sit down. Aside giving them food, what value can I give them? This is what builds trust in a business. I because of time, I would make do with this point, man.
Okay, thank you very much. I really love the point you made. I love the point you made. I would like to ask you now, from what one of the things you said, I want to ask you, how then can someone who is into business but doesn't really know much about values, having value systems, or aligning their values to the business, how can they now achieve that? That is the first question I ask. Then, before you answer, another question, so you can answer both of them together. Another question is, on the other hand, for those other persons who as they're listening, they will say, ah, wow, but I know I must have built a wrong perception of my business before people. How can I correct it? If someone is asking this, what answer do you have to that? How can they correct the wrong perceptions that they've created about their businesses?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Um, the two questions, like Joseph is going to say, they are one. The two dreams of Pharaoh are one. You're not Pharaoh here, actually. I'm just drawing a line. Okay. Let's begin from the second question. All right, you have realized that you've been selling the wrong perception about your business. You've realized that. So the number one step to healing is realizing that you need healing. Okay, this is a Christian community, right? All right. So Jesus said something to the Pharisees. He said, you would remain blind because you said you can see. If you had admitted that you were blind, I would have made you see. So the first thing is to recognize that you have been doing it wrong. So what step do you take? Start afresh. Start afresh. Look, humility is not just a thing for the younger generation to do towards the older generation. That is, when you see your elders, you need to respect. These things are wonderful. But honestly, when you recognize that you've been doing it wrong, start afresh. Don't be shy to start afresh. And how do you start afresh? Because you can't go door to door and begin to correct your perception. But this is what to do. Make up your mind that you have erred and you want to start afresh. So how do you start afresh? This is where you need to now be willing to identify the areas you made a mess, because you cannot fix what you don't know is broken. You cannot fix the things that you do not know is broken. So number one, you need to do with what? First, identify that you need healing, then start afresh. How do you start afresh? Sit down. If you have a team, ask, be honest with your team, be open with your team. Don't be so rigid that your team members cannot be truthful to you. Now, this is what you do. You sit down and have a conversation. What and where do you think we've been getting it wrong? This is a question you need to ask them. Be honest. If you don't have any team, you need to go out there, meet with customers that you know frequently were coming to your place, but after some time they stop coming. Go up to them, speak up to them. Please, I'm on this survey, I'm on that survey. Be honest with them. Please, I've not been seeing you for quite some time. Could you mind to tell me why you've not been coming? There is this atmosphere you will create in your conversations, and they'll be truthful to you. That is why we have what we call feedback. I'm sorry to say, um, the Nigerian space does not really value feedback. Let me be honest with you. You can go to a bank today. Most banks in Nigeria have feedback box, but I want to be 100% sure that most of those banks don't read that feedback. Let's be honest. I go to Zenny Bank, go to UBA, you see a box for feedback. I am 100% sure that those banks, they don't take that feedback serious. That is why we have network problem in Nigerian bank is the best in the world. So let's not go there. Now you need to be open to feedback. I don't want to mention a bank that is so wonderful when it comes to network, but their grace is Zenith. I've not mentioned their name. I just said Zenith. So let's. I just said Zenith. I didn't call any bank. I just said their grace is Zenith. So
Of course, you didn't.
okay. So you need to start afresh by what? Being open to feedback. Like I said earlier, you cannot fix what you do not know is broken. So if you don't have a team, then go out there, ask your customers, what ways do you think I can improve my business? They may feel like you're disturbing me, but when they see how serious you are, they will tell you the truth. People people are not yet ready for the truth. So please identify those areas in which you erred. Like that is the process of starting afresh. Start afresh, then you identify. You cannot fix what you do not know is broken. So go to your customers, the ones you can have access to, be honest with them, get to know those things, because I can't see my face unless I go to a mirror. In the same way as a business, your customers are your mirror. So go to them, speak with them, get to know the areas, pay attention to feedback, because that is the beginning of you coming back. Pay attention to feedback, be open to criticisms. Don't see it as a dead end. That is, because of time, I will just say this very one: start afresh, then be open to feedback, either from your team members or you step up and go out there. Don't be ashamed to start afresh. Don't be ashamed to start afresh. So the first question, could you be kind to rephrase so that I'm sure that I'm answering the question properly?
Okay, what I asked in the first question was that for someone who doesn't have, in quotes, doesn't have a value, because we all have some things that are our value systems, the things that we hold on to, the things that we do not joke with when it comes to what we think, the way we behave, our thoughts, and the rest of them. So when it comes to business now, how can someone who hasn't had had some value systems for his or her business now develop one, because they need to understand first of all what it is. So please first explain really in depth what value or value system means in a business, and how a business owner can create one or more of them.
Okay, thank you for rephrasing the question. I'm grateful. So, what is a value system in a business? And in quote, how can someone who is yet to have a value system create one? Now, your brand identity, your brand perception is simply your brand personality. Personality, in another word, means your value system. These are the core. These are the things that your business stands out for. These are the things that your business will be known for. These are the things that your business would be let's when it comes to the issue of recommendation. These are the things that will make your business be recommended. These are the things that will make your business to be differentiated. These are the things that will make your business to be distinct from every other person. The Bible said of Daniel, he had an excellent spirit. An excellent spirit was in him. So the value system of Daniel was an excellent spirit. So, an excellence, a value system in a business has to do with the things that your business are known for. The value, your systems, the value your business, I'm sorry for that, the value your business creates. Your value system has to do with the beliefs and the practices. And the practices. How do you treat your customers? How do you receive feedback? How do you treat your customers? These are the things that makes up your value system. Now, if you want to know the value system of a man or a woman, just get to know how they treat other persons. You don't need to ask somebody, what are your value system? Just spend time with them, just give them a week, stay close to them, and observe how they interact with people. You will get to know somebody's value system. These are the days when you ask people about their value system, they tell you everything good about them. That's cool. If you want to know people really, just spend quality time with them and you get to know their value system. So, how is your business being perceived out there? What are the services that you render? How do you render your services? How do you treat your customers? How do you take feedback? Are you the kind of person who, when a customer tells you rudely, your food is too salty, your food is tasteless, are you the kind of person who would just attack them? How are you? Do you know how much salt costs? Don't you know the economy is too hard? Don't you know the no, no, no. How do you receive? How do you accept criticisms? How do you take this thing called feedback? So these are things that makes up your value system, your beliefs, and your daily practices. This is what we call value system when it comes to branding. Now, how do you create one for somebody who does not have one? Understand, first of all, the purpose of your business, because you cannot create a system from something that is yet unknown. You need to be well defined for you to create a system. So, if you want to create a value system, understand the purpose of your brand. That is your business. Understand the purpose of your business. You cannot create a system from something that is non existent. First, you need to identify that this is what my business stands for. Then, from that identification, the next thing you do is know your target audience. Because if you are creating a value system ignorantly of your audience, you will create a value system that befits another region or another audience, which doesn't make sense. So number one, after you've identified your brand's purpose, the number two thing you need to do is what? Know your target audience. Who are my customers? Who are the person? What is my region? Who are the persons that I'm after? Are you somebody who's into fashion? You need to understand, okay, who are my target audience? If you want to create a value system, you need to ask this question, these supporting questions. Who are my target audience? Okay, am I here to make clothes for mommies or daddies, or am I here to make clothes for youth? So if you have identified that you want to make clothes for youth or for the the younger generation, your value system will change. There's a way you will now shape your value system. Now, as a Christian, if you want to make clothes for the younger generation, for sisters, you want to make clothes for sisters. Now, your value system is, look, first and foremost, I'm a Christian and I stand for what? I stand for decency. You are defining your value system. But if you just tell yourself, okay, I'm a seamstress, I'm a tailor, I'm into fashion designing, all right, it's no problem. But who are your target audience? I don't know, as God provides. No, if you want to hit global relevance, you will not follow the mindset of as God provides. You need to identify, look, I am here for mommies. I am here simply for daddies. So number one, we talked about understanding the purpose of your brand. Number two, know your target audience. Then from these two, because of time, from these two, you begin to create a value system. Okay, I will be dealing more with the younger generation. Yes, there's a possibility that as a watchman sister, you're going to have customers from other denominations, in quotes. Now, when they come to you, you will not just tell them, when they tell you this is the kind of clothes to sew for me, you will not tell them, you will not start singing for them. Okay, sister, sit down. Please open your Bibles to the book of Second Corinthians, and you are lambasting them, or you start singing, "Do you know him against whom you have come?" It's not the warfare. You need to sit down, understand. You need to sit down, understand that this person is coming from another clique you don't know. So you need to first of all make them feel comfortable while still maintaining your standard. So you cannot create a value system if you don't know your target audience. You cannot create a value system if you don't understand the purpose of your business. So there are other points, but because of time, would make do with this very few ones, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Noble. You have really given us noble responses, and we appreciate you for those. Okay, our time is almost gone, but before we round off, I'll still like to ask you maybe one or two or three more questions. Now, the next question I would like to ask you is this. Now, with all we've said, how then can someone build a consistent brand experience? For instance, nobody has just one customer. No successful business, let me put it that way, has just one customer. Now, how can a business owner build a consistent brand experience between or with all customers? Some customers can be so let me use the word please annoying in quotes. I believe you understand what I mean. But some others can be understanding, friendly, and the rest of them. Now, how can a business owner who wants to have an exceeding profitable business build a brand identity that cuts across all kinds of customers? Thank you.
Okay, this question is a little bit dicey. But one key inference is you said you talked about brand experience. So how can somebody be consistent, right? Consistent in, could you rephrase that very part of the question? Sorry.
Okay, consistent in the sense that probably someone's value may be using, okay, how do I put it? Someone's value may be politeness, with customers, good customer service. And then it could happen that one beautiful day like this, the first customer who comes into the person's business, you're already smiling, is someone who could just make you close business for that day, or could annoy you to the point that every other customer that comes in feels the brunt of what customer A has done to you. Now, in this case of building a brand identity, how can this beautiful business owner remain in having or remain consistent in having a good in sticking to his or her brand identity, irrespective of who or whatever kind of customer that comes into his or her shop.
Okay, thank you so much for the question, and thank you for having to rephrase. So, how do you be consistent with your brand experience, right? Your brand identity, irrespective of the experiences you're going to be having with people. Thank you. This question has to do more with Africans. I'm sorry to say, but in Africa, every day your patience is being tested. One of the days, a friend told me, "Noble, I'm going through a lot. That's why I've not done this. I've not done that." I told the friend and said, "Look, in Nigeria, everybody's going through a lot. Don't tell me you are going. Just know that the if we had to write a CV as a Nigerian, I think there should be a portion where a Nigerian should say, I'm going through a lot. Everybody's going through a lot. So how do you address that issue of being consistent with your brand identity, irrespective of the person or the customers or the clients who are going to come your way? Now you need to understand the place of understanding. It's very key. The place of understanding, the place of discipline. Now, this is how the two goes. Now, it's not easy for somebody to be disciplined and at the same time understanding. So you need to understand that you are coming out to meet with people with different ideologies. That is why business is beyond just opening a kiosk, opening a shop, and begin to sample goods. You need to enroll yourself for business classes. You don't understand that there are certain customers who may be your destiny helper in quote, but their behavior can almost make you close business for that day. I had an experience before I continue with this very question. I had an experience one of the days I was attending to a customer, a wealthy man. I never knew how wealthy he was. But when he came in, he asked me about a particular product. Last year, that was our most expensive brand model in the market. So he asked me about it, and I told him, I think I told him 320,000, one of our mobile phones. And you need to see the way this man shouted at me. I had to like coordinate myself and I kept quiet. It was so like I don't know if he saw me in his dream or I saw him in my dream and I defeated him and his angel reported to him that I fought him and I don't know how the thing happened. But at that very point, I come on, yes, we're Christians, but let's be honest. I felt touched. But the best I could do was just to take excuse and I just because while he was so hard on me, other promoters were like, "Sir, it's not his fault. It's dollar." Yes, that was last year when dollar was really fluctuating. So he left me and faced them. I was like, "God, thank you for this escape route." So I escaped like Jesus escaped. Then I went to another corner to just stay, and something was like, "Look, imagine how you left that very man. Why didn't you just, give him your own share?" And I was like, okay, if I end up shouting at him now, what's good am I going to gain from this? So in the process of that self conversation, my supervisor entered and said, okay, what's the problem? I told him, sir, so and so came to buy this, and I told the man the price, and the man flamed up. My boss smiled and said, okay, my sales representative should follow me. So they accompanied me to the man, and I noticed what we did. We took the whole insult. Why is the phone this? Why is the phone that? The next thing my sales representative did was, sir, we are sorry. Sir, we are sorry. I was like, what kind of strategy is this? But I noticed something. The more we kept quiet and kept on telling him, sir, we are sorry, the man calmed down. And guess what?
Yeah.
He ended up buying two of our models. Now he said something. He said he wanted to buy another model from another promoter who was close to me, but he said he would never do it because the girl attacked him. But deep down in our mind, we knew he attacked her first, so she could not bear it. She just exploded. Now back to the very question. So how do I keep to tomorrow? Anytime he comes, he's so happy to identify with the brand Oppo, but he did not meet the owner of Oppo. He met this identity that is representing Oppo. He did not meet. He doesn't even know the Chinese guy who owns Oppo. But what's the inference from there? Sorry, my camera. What's the inference from there? You will meet with people who honestly will step on your nerves, even as Christians. You will meet with people who will get you annoyed. You will meet with people who want to make you pull off. The Bible said, "Put on the Lord Jesus," but there are certain people who will make you almost put off the Jesus Christ, and you face them and you put it back. But how do you deal with those kind of persons? Prepare your mind. Be open for any kind of experience from customers. Don't have a fixed mindset. Oh, our brand is doing well, our brand is growing. Then your mindset is telling you every person who comes to your business is going to love you. No, please don't do that. Have an open expectation. Open expectation in the sense anything can happen. Prepare your mind. Don't have the mindset of, okay, our business is being accepted by the public. Then you just begin to relax. Don't relax. See, be on your toes. Anything can happen. That is be prepared to expect anything from many quarters. The moment you begin to stereotype your mind to feel we are being loved in the market, everything is going to go well. Boom. Somebody will come who will almost make you fight and slap that pet. And the moment you slap, they'll be like, okay, it's a watchman sister. Well, that's all. You can't do evangelism there again. If you like, go to USA. Another person who from Watchman who comes to do evangelism there, they'll just say, which church are you from? Ah, your sister did it. Nobody will want to tell the story that you are slapped first, but you revenged. The news will take it that you slapped the person, but the person gave you two slap, but you could not enjoy the third one, you revenge. So first have this mindset to expect anything from people. Now, this may not be a a kind of a way out that certain persons are expecting me to say. But let's be honest, this is Nigeria, this is not USA. Just have that mindset to expect anything from customers. That is one. Then number two, be open. This is very key. In this very part of the world, we are finding it difficult to accept this. Look, be open to negative criticisms. So when your customers come in or try to say something to put you off, honestly, it takes the grace of God for you to keep quiet first, especially when somebody's accusing you for something you're not doing, accusing your brand for something that it doesn't truly stand for. Listen to them, keep quiet. No matter the rubbish people are saying, I'm learning something as a smartphone marketer. No matter the rubbish a customer is saying, just allow them. Don't interrupt them. Don't try to make them feel useless. They may be saying useless things, but allow them to uselessly talk. Then you keep quiet. Okay, sir, we are sincerely sorry. How can we help you? So, first, understand that things will not go the way you want. Now, this will give you the mind to expect anything. Then the next thing is what? Be open to criticism. Now, criticisms, ask them this very question. Okay, sir, from everything you've said, what do you think we can do? How do we help you? That customer immediately will feel this shame. Wow, after everything I said to this young man, to this young lady, about her rice, about her clothes, the only question she asked me was, we are sorry, sir. What can we do? Now, if your mindset was so rigid to take correction, you will not grow. If you had this mindset of how can he come to my outlet, how can he come to my shop, how can he come to my company and tell me nonsense, no problem. That's okay. You will lose a customer. Don't forget, one customer, according to a strategy in marketing, one customer that you treat right means he's going to come with 20 persons. So if you treat a customer right, he's connected to 20 persons who will come tomorrow. So if you lose one customer, you're losing 20 potential customers. So once you consider this calculation, honestly speaking, you will take certain, I don't want to use the word, it's not actually proper. You will take certain excesses from people. So if you lose a customer, you're losing 20 potential people. Don't tell yourself, God is there for me. God is going to provide for me. Don't do that. This is the business world. We are going to carry God in business, but let's be strategic with the way we do things. Don't tell yourself, don't worry, he can go. God is going to provide for me. You can do 10 charismatic hour and God will not provide because you failed you failed in preserving relationship. You failed in preserving relationship. That is where discipline comes in. That is where understanding comes in. That is where positioning your mind to expect anything comes in. Then the next thing is, please be, it's going to be difficult, but develop your mind to sit down and let people criticize you. Develop your mind to sit down and let people tell you this is what your brand is doing. When they are done complaining, just ask them, how can I do to help out? What can I do to serve you better? Honestly, they will feel foolish at that very point. Pastor Linus, we should know him. He's the diocesan youth coordinator in Just Nigeria, Pastor Linus. Now he's into printing. One of the days he shared an experience as I round up. He said something that he printed a work for a particular customer, and the customer came in, and the customer was like, "I don't like this work. This work is dirty. This work is this." He said something which I am learning and I'm applying. He kept quiet. He didn't say anything. This man insulted him like they say woto woto. He gave it to him hot, hot. But he was just so quiet and listened to the man. And at the end, he said, "Okay, sir, I'm sorry. Actually, the product I used is actually the best product in town. It's just that the product is not popular." And at that very point, the customer felt cold. The next thing the customer asked him out of shame was, which church are you going to? So I'm going to Watchman. Ah, the man was like, wow, Watchman, I've heard about them. They're so good. Now, the customer used that to cover up his shame. But the good news is he won a customer. And tomorrow that customer is going to come with 20 more persons. So you multiply 20 times 20. You see that at the end, look, God has done the provision already. So I believe in God's help, but understand that you need to be open to expect anything to happen. Then please don't see negative feedback as the end of life. It's not the end of life for you. It took Apple 40 years to make $1 billion, to make $10 billion. Sorry, that is the whole Apple we know. It took them 40 good years to make $10 billion. 40 years. They endured a lot of ups and downs. They endured a lot of insult from customers. But today, according to a report I heard 2 years ago, I don't know of now. I don't know of now. But according to 2 years ago, Apple became the most valuable company in the world. Let me go over that again. I didn't say Apple is the most valuable phone company. No. I mean, Apple became the most valuable company in the world. What makes them valuable? It is because of how they were open to criticisms. It is because of how they were open to hear customers talk down on them. Customers will talk down on you. But it is only a wise business person who will tell himself, wow, my customer said my shawarma tastes like yogurt. My shawarma does not have meat. My shawarma's meat is tasting like sweet potatoes. It's painful when someone tells you your meat is tasting like sweet potatoes. Look, believe me, it's very painful. You need some Bible study to calm your mind. You need some charismatic hour now to now cool you. Then you need Sunday light fellowship to now shine light on you for your mind, because it's very, very hurting. But you know the right thing to do? When you get that kind of feedback, just don't go home and say, God, why? God, when will you remember Zion? Hold on, sister. Before you do that very thing, you need to sit down and ask yourself, well, honestly, how does my shawarma taste? Then ask yourself this very question. If I was a customer, put yourself in the customer's shoe. If I was a customer, this shawarma, will I say it tastes sweet? We don't put ourselves in the customer's shoe. So I learned something from a conference I attended last year. The conference was held in USA, but they had the satellite edition in Jos. It was a paid conference. And one of the speakers who came to speak said something. Before you begin to see people as hating your business, before you begin to see people as not liking what you do, she said something that she didn't learn this when she started. She learned it after she became a billionaire, but she gave it to us for free. She said something. Please, before you say people hate you, put yourself in the shoes of your customer. Come on, let's be honest. Some of the things customers complain, truly, we deserve it because we have not been able to put ourselves in the shoes of the customer. How do you want to be treated? In this Nigeria, you saved 250,000 naira to buy a phone, only for the battery to begin to drain anyhow. Believe me, if you come to the market the next day, you will explode, because I saved 250,000 naira to buy a phone that is not serving me well. I would have used that very money to send my mother and she will pray for me. I bought a phone. Look, they want to explode. Don't begin to tell them it's not my fault. I'm not the owner of Infinix. I'm not the owner of Techno. Please don't disturb me. Don't tell them that. Truly, the fault is not your own. But ask yourself, if I was the one who saved 250,000 naira to buy a phone and the phone is messing up, what do I do? That understanding will make you calm. After everything, you tell the customer, honestly, we are sincerely sorry. We take full responsibility. This is what iPhone did. This is what Apple did. This is what Microsoft did. This is what Tesla did to be where they are today. This is what Harvard University did. Harvard is 100 and something years plus. This is what Time magazine did. People hated Time, but today, if Time mentions you as the 100 most influential persons, it's like going to heaven. But this business endured a lot of criticisms from people, but they grew because they were able to understand that criticism does not mean I'm not doing well. Criticism is a clarion call to do better. So be open for anything. Please give your customers a listening ear, no matter how hard they may be. Give them a listening ear. Now have the mindset to accept. Don't pretend. Customers know it when you're pretending. Have the mindset to accept the negative feedback. Use that negative feedback to build better. use that negative feedback to make corrections, because that may be the only chance you may have to redeem yourself. If you're waiting for somebody to tell you your shawarma tastes well, you may never have that kind of statement. But if you understand that, look, I can use the bricks people throw at me to become better, those negative feedback can serve as something that will make you better. I'm sorry I actually took time on this very point. I sincerely apologize.
It's all right. You are really giving us real fire. Thank you so much, Mr. Noble. Our time is fast spent. I had three more questions to ask you, but I'll just ask one more question. Please, if you have questions to ask, drop them in the comment section and we'll ask our speaker. You are free to ask if you know what has been bothering you with this topic. Please, this is a golden opportunity for you. Ask your questions, and I know he will be so glad to answer. All right, so Mr. Noble, one more question I would like to ask is this. We are talking, all this thing we say about branding is boiled down to us having exceeding profitability. So now, how can one, through this branding, now increase his or her revenue growth and profitability? Are you there with me? Oh, we lost him, man. Our, our guest, I can't find him anymore. Okay, please send in your questions while we see if we can find him back or get him back on stage. Ask your questions. Okay, so we've seen so many, we've gotten so much value from tonight's talk show. It has been so massive. I told you that this is going to be so massive. It's going to have so much fire. And I know that you really caught the fire and it's burning in your heart. Please don't let it die. And you can only do that by starting now. In fact, as you're listening to us speak, make decisions, what begin to build values. I'm expecting that you have your book and pen. I have my book and pen here, so I'm expecting that you have yours, so that every information that you're getting here, you're writing them down, and in fact making decisions. Make The Bible says you need to make the vision plain. You have to make your decisions plain. Don't stop at having this making decisions just in your mind. See, you will forget it. Let's be truthful to ourselves. You will forget it if you only make the decisions in your mind. You've got to get a book, not a paper. Get a book and write down your decisions. These are things that have helped so many people. Writing down the decisions, writing down your visions. And if you have any questions, ask them now. We've heard him say that negative feedback can be something that will make you better. What do you think about that? Some people don't even want to get anything negative. Any negative feedback can turn them off. It can make them to lose productivity for 1 week, even for more than a week. What are you going to do henceforth with negative feedback? What are you going to do henceforth with the negative feedback that you receive? In fact, let me give you an assignment. Let me give you an assignment. Now, this, in fact, go online, go to meet if your business is online, meet your customers online and ask them, or you go offline wherever you're doing your business, go offline and ask them to criticize you. Ask your customers to just criticize you. Let them tell you how you have been doing. Some of them may not tell you, but you will not see them ever again come to patronize you. You will not see them come to, and you'll be wondering why. In fact, if you're doing business like the kind of business I'm doing, which is just one time meeting, you only get to meet the customers once, and once the deal is done, that is all. You do know that it is even worse in such situations. Why? If such if such customer eventually seals their deal with you, and then you deliver the job to them whenever you deliver it, and they for one reason or the other are not satisfied with your service delivery, do you know that you have lost the other 20 people attached to that customer? So if your business is even such that once you deliver the job or service to them, it is over. You may not have anything to do with them again. Please return to those customers. Both the ones, okay, we have a question here. I'll soon ask the question. But the ones who have patronized you and sealed the deal with you, and those who did not seal the deal with you, return to them. Find out how, ask them how or what they perceive of your service delivery. Now let me read this question. We have a question here. In a situation whereby a major customer hardly pays on time, how can one, okay, oh Noble, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let me see if, please excuse me. Yeah, you can go on, please. Hello Noble, can you hear me still?
Okay, I can hear you, ma.
Okay, very great. So please, I was about taking this question, but we have a question before us. In a situation whereby a major customer hardly pays on time, how can one be able to change that pattern?
Okay, thank you so much for the question, and thank you so much, Sir Obiora, for this very question. Now, the thing is, honestly, I will not blame your customer. I'm sorry if I'm hard, but I'm sincerely sorry. But I will not blame your customer. I will blame you. In a situation where the question, sorry, I want to be honest, but I would also say something that would balance the whole situation. In a situation whereby a customer hardly pays on time. Now, you've noticed this for once, twice, and you are still giving them goods. Oh no, no. So this is a business. This is not a charity organization. This is not the United Nations. This is not UNICEF. This is your business. So once you notice it the first time and you do something about it the second time, the third time you notice it, now you need to sit down with this customer, sir. I know it may be a bit difficult, but that you don't look, because we said earlier that you shouldn't lose customers does not mean foolish. A word is foolish. A word is too hard, but that we shouldn't lose customers because one customer will bring 20 persons does not mean that we should be docile. Does not mean that we should take our business or treat it with levity. It happened the first time, happened the second time, and you did something, and this customer comes again to take a product. Please don't wait for them to come the third time. Sit down with them, or you call them and tell them, honestly, I appreciate your services. Honestly, thank you so much for patronizing me. But, sir, my business is still growing. And if I continue doing like this, honestly, I will not have enough capital to buy more goods. Tell them, please, sir, values. What are your policies? Aside giving value, what are the policies? Look, there are certain things I do. There are certain things I want to purchase in the market. And I tell myself, Kai, honestly speaking, okay, sir. All right, sir. I got the question. Okay, now there are certain things I want to purchase from the market, but do you know what I tell myself? I sit down before going out, I have a plan, and that is something you must do as a business owner. Don't spend out of impulse. Please, before your money comes into your hand, write down the things you want to buy with that very money. It could be taxing, but it is something I'm learning how to do. Don't just go out there with 50K. Let me see what the market holds for me. The market will drain you. Before you step out, write out a list and stick to that very list, except it is important that you switch. Now, there are certain persons I want to buy something from, and I'll tell myself, this customer does not accept goods on credit. They don't give out. This is what I do tell myself. Kai, this customer, no matter how good I am with the customer, this customer will not release their goods on credit. Why? They've built a policy in my mind. I know of certain customers I can go today and they'll give me goods and I'll come back in 3 months to pay. But I know certain customers that after 1 hour, they will start calling you. Policy. They are not begging you. They didn't leave Imo State or leave Anambra State to come to Jos to begin to look at your face. They are here for business. They have created an impression. It's not just an impression, it's a policy. This is my policy. We have what we call presidential pardon, but we also have what we call policies of that president. Look, I have presidential pardon on criminals, but there are certain things you do. I'll place you on firing squad. So the same president that is kind when it comes to independence, presidential pardon, is the same president who has policies to run his government. So, sir, as a business person, don't just tell yourself, I don't want to lose this customer, and you are losing funds. You have goods of 200,000. You have goods of 1 million naira. I don't want to make them feel bad. Please, sir, this is business. This is business. So what do you tell them? Respectfully speak with them, please. Honestly, if I keep running my business this way, I will not have enough capital to get more goods. Please, sir, I will not henceforth give you goods on credit. Policy. Let it be something that you're. Do you know these same customers who go to another shop and pay money? These same customers who delay to pay you. It's all about your policy. What policy, what image about your brand are you selling to them? I know of brands that I can't collect things on credit. That brand, they've already told me. They didn't tell me verbally, but with the way they behave to me, I know they can't give me goods on credit. So what are your policies? What are your policies? So it's all about policy. Policy, these are laid down guidelines, your business. See, perception is good. It's good for us to have a good image out there, but please, in the name of having a good image, let us not lose. Let us not, instead of making profit, we are just running around. We're like the children of Israel who are going 40 days, 40 years around Kadesh Barnea. It's not good. So please have a policy. It's very key. Policies are part of business branding. Policy, my policy is I can give you goods on credit for the first time, second time, third time. But please, when it comes to the fourth time, I cannot give you goods. They may tell you, this brother is so serious. No problem. You didn't leave your village to come to Jos to be unserious. Yes. So define your policies, please. It's very key. This brother is from my church. Brother, how are you doing? Kezi, or in Hausa, Yani. No. Once you are done with the brotherly love, once you are done with the, Jesus is good, please sit down and tell them, these are my policies, sir. And brother John, brother Isaac, I'm being careful of the name, brother Jeremiah, brother Titus, these are my policies. I know we're brothers in church. I can assist you, but honestly speaking, these are the policies of my business. So, sir, the first question, please, what are your business policies? Fix your business policies, and that same customer will begin to respect you. I hope I've done justice to this very question, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Noble. God bless you. You have really thrashed this topic. Thank you so much. At a point, I was cut off. So I don't know. Have you answered the question of the question which Barrister Michael asked?
Okay.
The one on the
Okay.
screen.
Okay. He says, as a minister of the gospel, how can I engage branding to project my ministry? Thank you so much, sir, for this very question. Now, there has been a lot of controversies on this very question. The controversies has been on, as Christians, we don't need to invest more in branding. Let's use that very money to do other things. Let's talk to the poor. Let's go to orphanages. Let's just use it and buy rice. People say a lot of things about the church, especially when the church. Yeah, I've heard people say, no, the church is not supposed to do like this. The church is not supposed to invest so much. Look at this screen. This screen is expensive. This screen is 2.8 million, and the pastor bought 4. Who needs this? We are going to heaven. The rapture is going to sound very soon. This pastor is wasteful. No, please. See, Jesus said something. Jesus said, why are you looking for me? Don't you know I must be about my Father's business? What is the question? Church. Let me know you, church. This thing called salvation is a business. Please, the moment you see the way people treat church these days. People treat church as no man's land. We just come to church on Sundays. The chair is still dirty. But we cannot leave our own houses dirty. Why? Look, the moment you begin to treat the kingdom of God as a business, we'll place priority on it. Nobody wants to lose in business. So that is why people take things of God anyhow. But the moment you begin to take the things of God as a business, this is my business. I saved 1 million naira from it. I saved this 1 million naira for 3 years. If you took 3 years to save 1 million naira, would you spend that money anyhow? You will not spend that money anyhow. If you took 3 years to save 1 million naira, 500,000 naira for 3 years, you will be meticulous with the way you spend that money. You will take that business seriously. When we take church as a business, I'm not really saying the exploitation part, but let's take it like Jesus took it. This is my father's business. So the question as a minister of the gospel, how can I engage Brandon to project my ministry? First, you need to understand what you want to achieve. Why do you want to go into branding to project your ministry? Sir, it's very important, sir. You don't just begin to brand to project your ministry. You need to sit down, ask yourself this very important question. Okay, I want to engage branding to project my music ministry. I want to engage branding to project my podcast ministry, because I've seen churches that operate podcasts, especially in America. They do it more. Over here in Nigeria, I'm still yet to see churches that do podcasts. So how do I engage branding? Before you do that, the bigger question should be, why am I doing this? Am I just doing it so that I will compete? Am I doing it so that I will just exist? Am I doing it so that I will just I want people to see the church as okay, the church is not a cage. Why are you doing this? Because if you don't have a why, honestly speaking, it's like you are following the trend. And branding is not following the trend. Branding is branding is transgenerational. Trends are just for the moment. So if you don't know why you are engaging branding to project your ministry, honestly speaking, don't start. Just use the money and go to an orphanage and pray with them. But the day you discover why you want to engage in branding, okay, I want to give Watchman a global outlook. There are certain things I see in other churches. Permit me. Certain good things I see in other churches, and I'm like, wow, I want to see these things happening in Watchman. Why? My number one purpose is because I want Watchman to have a global image. There is nothing wrong with Watchman having a global image. I want to see Watchman have a global image. So how can I engage branding to project my ministry? First, define your purpose. Why do I want to engage branding to project Watchman? I don't like seeing Watchman local. I want to see Watchman globally to branding to project ministry. So no, the first thing to do, sir, is to understand the purpose why you want to engage branding. Before we begin to say number one, number two, no, number one, the most important thing rather, why do I want to engage branding to project my ministry? Because people are going to ask you, tell us where Jesus engaged branding. Tell us where Jesus engaged branding. People will ask you, what will you tell them? No, you need to be sure of what you're doing. You need to be sure that this is what I want. So how do I engage branding? First, understand, be clear on why you want to do this. Then the next thing is to, okay, what tools? What tools? These are this is every point here is important. What tools do I want to use? Because if you don't know what tools are available to use, you may use certain things that the world will come against you. This pastor is doing this pastor is doing that, but these things are worldly things. All right, let me say something. We all know of our father in the Lord, Pastor WF Kumi. He's our father in the Lord, right? Now, a couple of years ago, the church was against television. It's not a rumor, it's happened, right? But today, let me ask a question. Who is among the first 10 pastors using social media currently? It is Pastor WF Kumi. Global crusades. Global crusade are holding in different locations of the world. In Nigeria, I think the other day it was Cameroon, Ghana, social media. But few years ago, this same denomination believed that if
Sorry to
you
cut
are online,
in, Mr. Noble. Sorry to cut in. Please, our time is so much fast spent.
I
Could you
sincerely
just summarize
apologize.
this point in the next 20 seconds?
Okay, all right. First and foremost, okay, we've already continued. So understand why you want to engage branding to project your ministry. Then understand what available tools can you use. What tools can you use to fast track this projection? First, you need to understand why you want to do this. Secondly, you need to also understand the tools. What tools can I use? What blueprints can I use? What tools can I use? What blueprints can I employ? And what methods can I employ? So these are things you need to put into place when you want to project, when you want to engage branding to project church ministry.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Noble. Wow, this has been so wonderful, so beautiful, so interesting. I wish it wouldn't end, but we are humans and we are still limited because we are not yet transformed or transfigured. Thank you so much for joining us in this talk show. It's been great having you with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Noble. And we know that you have impacted lives. You have you have you have put your imprints, in fact, on the lives of people. And I know that the seeds that you have sown will definitely grow, they will germinate, they will bear fruits. And don't be shocked when in few years to come somebody walks up to you and says, hey, Mr. Noble, hey, good evening, I am so person. I was in the live, I participated in the talk show on so day when you talked about business branding. Look at what I did when I listened to you, and this is where my business is today. Thank you so much, sir. Please, can I sow this seed into your life? So please do not be shocked because this is surely going to happen very soon. Thank you so much. Please give an assignment to the listeners. I want you to give them a
Okay,
take home assignment to do.
okay. Thank you so much for this very part. Okay, in the next couple of minutes, in the next couple of seconds,
Seconds.
but let me be honest. Uh, I don't want. Okay, let's see. 3 minutes has a second too. All right. So okay, in the next couple of seconds, the assignment I would love that we get onto is to sit down after this very teaching. Please have an action plan, act, assimilate everything, decide what you're going to change, and decide who to teach. But this is the assignment. Please, after this very class, could we be kind to sit down and ask ourselves few questions about our brand, whatever thing you're doing currently to make profit? Just ask yourself this very question. First, this very thing, this very way I am running my business, would it last the next 10 years? For number one question, if I am no longer on this earth, would this my business last the next 10 years? Start from there. Number two question we should work on as regards our branding is, with the current method, with the current moves, with the current ways I am running my business, can this business of mine go global? These are the two questions. Number one, if I'm no longer here, would my business last the next 10 years? Would it survive the next 10 years? Secondly, the current principles, the current patterns, the current methods I am using to run my business now, can it make my business go global?
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much, Mr. Noble. Thank you so much. Please, everyone, endeavor to do this assignment. God bless you. And with this, we will be, or we have, in fact, come to the end of this talk show. God bless you all.
Thank you, man. Thank you.